Alongside Jason Strudwick, Struds for a second consecutive day, Connor McDavid standing in there answering a barrage of questions about his contract. I can't imagine he loves doing this. I can't imagine this is going to last, but it's notable that he is doing it. Some guys might show up and say, listen, not going to talk about it, talk to my agent, but he's in there, standing in there, talking to fans and answering all of the questions. What do you make of that approach from him?
Well, this is the story in the hockey world. There are other people that haven't signed or are coming back from injuries, but everybody wants to know what's going to happen because it's a massive story about the possibilities for the Oilers or any other team, depending on how it shakes out. He's front-loading this. He's telling everyone that I'm going to talk about this now, and when training camp comes up, I don't think we're going to talk about it as much unless there's something to talk about. I like the approach he's taking. He's being honest. He's giving time, letting people know his thought process, who he's talking to, what he's kind of looking for. And now everyone knows. And the front loading is done. And when training camp starts, I think in his mind, the story will be on pause until there's something to report.
So not really any news. Didn't have anything new to say today. He's continuing to work through things. Nothing really new today, to be honest with you. But one thing he talked about was the idea that this would be a distraction for his team. I think a lot of people would assume McDavid, final year of his contract with no extension. We kind of saw the Marner situation last year. We've seen it before, but McDavid is next level. He's not buying it at all that this could or should be a distraction for his teammates, basically saying, if guys can't play hockey because we're having to answer questions about my contract or because you guys are talking, what are we doing here? He's really batting down that idea.
Really smart guy, and he understands that he can put his message out to the fans, his teammates, to the media, through the media. So that's what he did. He's saying, guys, this isn't a distraction. In his mind, whether the contract gets done or not before the season, his teammates and everyone else are going to have to realize that he's going to take his time and do what he thinks is right. So it cannot be a distraction for them, or fans shouldn't worry about it, or the media shouldn't continue to ask questions, because when it's his time and he's got the answer he wants or the solution, he'll let you know. Play. We're here to win a Stanley Cup, not to worry about my contract.
Yeah, I asked a lot about how he feels about the future of this team beyond this season. He said that he believes in this group as much as ever. But what about the next few seasons? He continues to say it's not about his belief in the organization. It's just a big decision, and he's going to continue to take his time with it. He also talked about his game. And it sounds like one of the things Connor McDavid wants to do, Struds, is to get back to the goal-scoring ways that saw him notch 64 a couple of seasons ago. 64, then down to 32, 26 last year. The goal-scoring has really fallen off, and it sounds like he wants to be a little more opportunistic on that front, which I think is great news for the Oilers if he's thinking that way.
Well, we got the chance to watch the captain's skate today, and then the practice, a few players, including Connor McDavid, working on quick shots from the top of the circle. Comes in and talks to the group of assembled reporters. He used the word, I want to be more decisive. And as a D-man, I'm like, oh man, that kind of scares me, because I think he is very decisive. When he gets the puck, he's gone. He's changing gears. But I'm wondering if maybe more decisive is he's going to say, I'm going to try to get to the net more, get to more shooting areas in the middle of the ice. I'm taking the puck there, and I'm draw people to me. If they don't come, I'm shooting. And we saw that more the year you mentioned is 60-plus goals. So decisive should make D-men sweat when they're sleeping at night, knowing if he is going to be like that, it means his choices are going to be quicker, and to use his words again, more decisive.
If he's decided in his decisiveness that he wants to score more goals, he's going to do it. I mean, he wanted to try and get 60 that one year, a fun challenge from Leon Draisaitl. He did it. Wanted to get to 100 assists. He did it. When he sets his mind to something out there, McDavid knows how to get it done. Asked him about his off-season training and the approach that he took this year, Strud. So a couple of years ago, the Oilers go to the Stanley Cup final, right to Game 7. We know McDavid was banged up. I think he took a less aggressive approach to his training in the summer, trying to make sure he was healthy and get back. This year, it sounds like he leaned on it a little bit more, right? The Oilers played deep into the season. Not a lot of time for rest, and it sounds like McDavid did not take very much time off in the off season outside of a couple of family weddings and friends.
Well, he was healthy. And you mentioned it. He felt good. So he didn't have to kind of scale it back to get healthy, then push forward again. And I think it is a good idea. When you're feeling good about yourself, keep pushing, especially with that short off season. So he said he kept his training level or his fitness level at the same level, game ready, and then he's able to build on that and grow. So that's what you want. With the shorter off season, you want to not just maintain or get back to where you were, you want to try to grow that fitness level and that strength, and it sounds like that's what he did.
So he said he never fell out of game shape. Let me ask you, would that be normal for an NHL player to maintain game conditioning for even a shortened summer for a team that went to the Cup final?
When you have a longer off season, generally what you do is you're trying to build. So you might pull or get away from that game shape, but you might add strength or flexibility or power, and then you ramp it back up towards, the end of August or kind of end of July into August, get that game shape back up so you can take those extended shifts that we know he can. So it's a little bit different approach. So it would be unique, yes, especially when you have a longer off season, or in this case, a short one like Connor had.
Bigger picture thought here, Struds. The Oilers this season, their chance to get back to a third Stanley Cup final potentially. I believe they regressed last year. I really do. Where do you think they have the potential to be at this year? Is it a step forward maybe for this group?
I think there's some wild cards in this lineup that they're coming in with some younger players, maybe quicker players like Howard or Savoy, these guys. I think the D is going to be stronger now than it was last year going to training camp. I think the goaltenders with the new goaltending coach, I think that's a new way. People don't know. I think it makes a big difference because it's not just the skills the goaltending coach is talking about, it's the approach to the game. And maybe that'll unlock something in Stu Skinner to get that consistency that, that we've seen from him for long stretches. So there's quite a few wild cards this year, and I look forward to seeing what it does when they come together. But kind of the newer coaching staff and these veterans are going to be leaned on to help kind of bring this group along.
Matt Savoy, young player that potentially could break through into a top 6 or top 9 role. Ike Howard, another young player they're looking to potentially break through to a top 9 role. Young guys that don't have a lot of NHL experience with big opportunity, Struds. Not a guarantee that either of these guys are able to hold in those positions.
Well, Connor was asked about it today, and he spoke about it. He said, it's a big ask to join the NHL and be an impact player at a young age. It is tough. It's really tough. The good thing is there are players that are around them that can insulate them. Leon, Connor, Nugent Hopkins, Zach Hyman when he comes back. And let's not forget Mangiapane. Mangiapane was a little bit further down the lineup last year in Washington. They had some good depth. He might get a heightened role. We saw what he did in Calgary. He was able to score quite a bit. So there's a lot of options, and that's why I'm talking about the coaching staff. They have to kind of figure out how these pieces fit together, but also can they bring along younger players? And maybe they don't come all the way this year, but maybe it's towards the end of the year, then maybe next year they're more that impact player they want. So you're trying to build for the short term, obviously another run and a return to the Stanley Cup final, but you're also trying to build with expectation that Connor and Leon will be here for a number of years, and you need youngish players coming in.
Going to be fascinating to see how this goes. September 17th, the day that training camp gets underway, then another long haul for the Oilers to get themselves back to where they hope to be.